woman thought it would be funny to prank her husband with an AI-generated photo of a fake home intruder. Instead, she ended up with criminal charges. Massive skill issue. Come on, how would you not know that this is a terrible idea? But this whole story starts off with her husband at work, and he gets a text from his wife saying that a stranger just forced his way into their home. And then the wife sends a photo. A man you've never seen before laying on your couch. I feel like it's safe to say that basically anyone would panic and call 911. And what happens when you call the police saying there's someone in your house that you do not know? Well, they pull up. Except when they got there, there's no intruder. It's just your partner sitting there on the couch with their phone on a tripod because it was just a prank. And that's exactly what happened in Bethesda, Maryland. And this is how a dumb viral TikTok trend turned Moesha Gardner into the face of a new AI-powered legal mess. So on October 8, 2025, Montgomery County Police got a 911 call from a terrified husband who believed someone had broken into his home. He told dispatchers that his wife said a stranger forced his way in. She even sent him a picture, a man covered in a blanket, lying on their living room couch. Police responded code 3, which means it's a top priority. 8 cruisers were diverted from other calls to rush straight to this house. And when officers got there, they didn't find a home invasion. They found Gardner sitting alone on her couch with a phone on her tripod aimed at the door, waiting there like, hey, this is a prank. And obviously that led to a very awkward explanation. Like, honestly, what was she expecting here? Her husband to come fly kicking through the door and to beat up this homeless person? Also, like, how do you not hear 8 police cruisers show up? Like, if anything, that would be your sign to maybe take the phone off the tripod and start working on your apology here. But according to Montgomery County Department of Police, she admitted that it was all just a prank. She had just used AI to generate the image of a man on the couch. And the prank, clearly it cost her a criminal record. Because Shira Goff, who's a spokesperson of Montgomery County Police, said this is something that should be taken seriously. If we get a call and someone says they're in crisis or in need, we have to respond. And thankfully they do so. So we really shouldn't be taking them for granted. And she explained that the husband believed the situation was real. He relayed the dispatch, which set off a chain reaction. She said the husband is actually thinking this is legitimate. He relays that information to our 911 dispatcher, so now we have multiple officers that are being called from other incidents to respond to something that wasn't a real emergency. Gardner, the wife, was arrested and charged with making a false report of a crime and providing a false statement to a state official. She was later then released on a $10,000 bond. So this is where things got interesting, because technically she wasn't the one who called 911. Her husband did. But her entire call was based on her saying that a stranger had forced his way into their home. And then on top of that, she sent an AI-generated photo to prove it. So even if she didn't call 911 herself, she set the entire false emergency in motion. And it looks like, from reading the police statements and other countries' warnings, that in many jurisdictions, that's actually enough to face false reporting charges. So even if she didn't make the false call to the police, she caused the false report to happen. So if prosecutors can show that she intentionally made a knowingly false statement that led to an emergency service being sent out, that can be treated the same as filing the false report herself. And here's another layer worth considering, because the police responded to code 3, meaning it's not just a minor prank. They burn real resources and potentially put officers and neighbors at risk here. So I mean, if there's one thing I've noticed with trends like this, prosecutors tend to hit the initial arrest pretty hard because they want to make an example out of others so, people don't go on and do the same thing. So obviously she didn't place the 911 call, but technically she orchestrated it. And from a legal standpoint, that could be just as serious. But just to zoom out for a second, because this just wasn't like one woman with a bad judgment. What Moesha did is tied to a viral social media trend on TikTok called the AI homeless prank, or homeless man prank. And lately, I've been covering a lot of these stories involving fake AI doctors, AI catfishers, essentially all sorts of people using AI to lie. And it's safe to say we're getting more and more cursed by the day. And this is definitely just going to get weirder and weirder, faster and faster. And in this case, it's exactly what I mean. People online think stuff is hilarious, and honestly, sometimes it's funny in a dark, absurd way, but unfortunately, it's no longer a joke when emergency services get taken away from real emergencies to attend to a joke.
Imagine picking up your phone and you see an intruder at your door, in your living room, even in your bed.
We do not know this man. Tell him to get out.
That's exactly what's happening across the country on social media.
We could feed him, and then he said he'd stay for the night.
But these images are not real.
It's just the people in our house.
They're part of a trend called the AI homeless man prank, where users deploy artificial intelligence to create fake images of a man inside your home. Police are warning it needs to stop now.
You're causing your friends and your family to panic, to think you're in danger. Number 2, you're tying up a police public safety answering point, a 911 dispatch center. You're wasting the police resources.
A Google search of homeless man prank turns up a website which gives instructions on how to create the image.
Like, do you guys remember when Yahoo how-to articles would show up step-by-step how to tie your shoes or basic stuff like that? Now we have guides on how to make it look like a homeless guy is getting into our houses. We're not just talking about like trolling on the internet at this point, honestly. Like, we're talking about scaring the hell out of family members, wasting community resources, and now creating a real danger. As the New York Times reports, the prank works like this. Someone uses AI to generate a realistic photo of a homeless man sitting on a couch, eating, or in the kitchen, or just lying in bed. Then they text it to a friend or family member claiming a stranger broke in. The person on the receiving end freaks out and sometimes call the police. And then the prankster then records their reaction and posts it online for laughs. So Captain John Burke of the Salem Police Department warned that if someone actually reports an intruder with a weapon, armed officers could end up confronting innocent people inside the home or even neighbors. Because the Yonkers Police Department in New York even released a full statement on their local Facebook page warning people from this, and they are far from the only police force to do so. Honestly, this is just like a new creative way of swatting. And while this prank might not sound as extreme, if police arrive expecting a violent intruder and make a split-second decision, things can obviously escalate very quickly. Officials in Massachusetts, Michigan, New York, and Wisconsin have all warned people who pull stunts like this could face serious criminal charges. And this includes jail time or hefty fines. And this trend blew up because it's easy to do. Anyone with basic AI knowledge can whip something like this up. And honestly, it's the kind of prank that at the surface level feels harmless to the person at least making it. They're thinking, oh, it's just a joke. No one actually is going to get hurt here. But if you don't immediately say, hey, no, I'm joking, this is AI, the person you're pranking could easily call 911, and there you have the situation. I've also seen versions of this too where people are sending their partners videos of AI people in their house flirting with them. So if this trend doesn't get you arrested, it could very well get you divorced. Like, imagine if you do this prank on someone and then your significant other does not believe that it actually was AI, and then they end up divorcing you. And obviously, there's now like so many public warnings about the uptick in swattings from this exact trend. So clearly, this is becoming a problem. And in some states, people doing this trend could face thousands of dollars in fines and even prison sentences for trying to essentially do this to emergency services. And unfortunately, you can't just say, oh, it was just a prank. I'm sorry about that, guys, and walk away, because unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Because Moesha Gardner, she found that out the hard way. Her husband panicked, the police showed up, and now she's getting criminal charges. And to think this was all for a TikTok trend. Oh boy. But Gardner was just released on bond, and she's currently awaiting the legal process. If convicted, she could be facing some serious penalties under Maryland law. And even if she avoids jail, the arrest and charges are already public, so this definitely will impact her life. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.